Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Riggs. On this channel we do vaping product reviews. Except for like juice. We don't like juice. We do other stuff in the vaping world. Mainly devices, tanks. I did a battery charger once. That was pretty cool. I didn't get to keep the battery charger because my devices, other than the ones that I picked up on my own, ones that I've paid for, are given to me by the Mildenhall Vape Shack where I work, and thank you to them for doing that for me. I don't get to keep it. I have to give it back. If I want my own, I still have to buy it, which isn't a problem, but it does mean that, I can keep the review honest. If it's an absolute pile of junk, then we just simply give it back. I did the Lyra, the modifying Lyra. We found sort of problem with it that we weren't happy about. We weren't happy passing that on to our customers, so we sent it back to our supplier. So this does kind of give us an idea of something that's going to be, actually okay. I try to use devices for at least about a week before I'm, review it. Yeah, which is, I think is a pretty good thing, rather than just sort of pulling out of the box and saying, hey, this is what you got. Don't know how it's going to work, but so far it's good, that sort of thing. But anyway, moving right along today, as I said last week, we are looking at this. This is the Aspire Feeklink Revo kind of kit deal. This is the silver, all silver version. Comes with a black tank. No matchy, I didn't. This is not my fault. Okay, it came that way. I don't know why it's not all silver, but it has a smoke tank. So yeah, this is a single 18650 Squonk. It is protected, has all your protections in it. It's a regulated non-variable device. It's regulated to 80 watts. It'll do a maximum output of 80 watts, depending on what it reads the Arco coil and the Revo tank at. It is not a rebuildable tank. Any of you who are seeing the Revo tank for the first time, check out the SkyStar video I did, or just, search Revo or SkyStar and YouTube. There's been lots of reviews on it. Some guys who probably articulated it much better than I did, but yeah. So there's it kind of functions like an RDA because the coil's on top of your tank. But to fill this tank, you just squeeze the bottle, and the bottle, if I put it like that, oh yeah, look at me running out of juice. That'll fill your tank, and then you can keep on going. So yeah, you got kind of 7 mil here, 2 mil there. Maybe a milliliter. It doesn't really state how much the actual coil itself holds. Most of them kind of really don't, but you're looking at about almost 10 mil in the system. It is TPD compliant. Now, I haven't broken this one down completely. Anyway, I did have a look. For example, these panels. They are the body of the device is a zinc alloy, and the panels are actually plastic, but they don't look bad at all. They don't look bad, and it's got some weight to it. So possibly, because they're very easy to take off. It's just got 2 Allen keys this side, 2 Allens this side. Don't start that. They come off really easy, so there might be maybe third party or maybe Aspire will make replaceable panels for it because they're not that hard to change. I've had harder. So that could be something that might be, possible in the future. All right, so the first part is what we're going to get in the box. We're going to get this advice slip. This is going to tell you, actually probably most importantly for me, is don't take the top cap off, and with the coil installed, press the fire button. It could be a hot mess. You wouldn't really want to do that. You're also going to get the Aspire's warranty card. I've not had to deal with Aspire on the warranty side of things. Them being a reputable manufacturer, I would expect that it would be, fairly straightforward. You're going to get quite a few O-rings. Aspire does seem to like to give you extra O-rings. The large ones, the 24 mil ones, roughly, going to be for your tank, but there are some smaller ones here that are going to go onto the device itself. And you're going to get, you get their battery safety card. Never use a battery with a torn wrap, and make sure your battery is bad enough for the job you're asking it to do. And then you're going to get the user manual. A lot of the writing, especially these bullet points, they're small. It's this very small font. You know, if you have trouble reading, you may want to make sure you get your glasses on and get in some good light, so you're able to read it. And also a lot of, you get this sort of orangey and yellow onto a white background. Never the greatest thing. It always makes it really hard to see, even if you got good eyesight. Now, some of the things to point out is arc coils. The arc coils are a resistance range. So rather than saying, yes, this is a 0.15 coil, they are between 0.1, 0.14, pretty much just like the standard Revo tank that we went over on the SkyStar Revo kit. I'll put a link to the video. So so if you want to have a look at that. With this coil, it's going to fire between 70 and 80 watts. Bear in mind, this is a regulated device. It is regulated to 80 watts. It is protected, but it is non-variable, which means you cannot adjust the wattage up and down. It is what it is. This will fire between 4.2 volts and down to 3 volts. So it will fire actually kind of low. If you decide to use your own RDA on here and you do a bit of build and you're a bit silly or a bit forgetful or just bumped it and your cold touches something, it's not going to let you do anything silly. It's going to keep you safe. And there are some other important things, especially what your LEDs mean. Now, LEDs on these are a little difficult to see because they will light up right here. I will pop a battery in that, and then we can go over that so I can let you see it. Essentially, when you put the battery in the first time, you're going to get this. It says orange, but to me it looks a little bit pink. I'm not sure. But this is blue and orange LED are going to sort of flash back and forth. Then when you fire it, if your battery is full, 4.2 volts, it's going to just light up the blue one. When the battery reaches 3.8 volts or lower, it's going to show the orange as well as the blue. And then if your battery reaches this bottom end, it's just going to light up red and flash. And that's not the first indication of your battery getting weak. That's just the indication that your battery is too weak for the device to fire it. The hit is what's going to tell you that the battery is getting weaker. I don't know if you can hear it. No, you can't hear it. But inside there, will it even show up? Oh, there you go. That's my spare. Yeah, that's my spare glass. All right, so essentially, since this is the biggest piece, I'll show you on this. The glass should be round. When your glass is packaged, it is not packaged this way. It is packaged stood up like this. So it makes a ring. And it sits here in this section. Yeah, so you've got your glass, you have your Revo tank that is here, which you probably can't see because it's just dark as hell. Anyway, Revo tank, glass, spare coil, and your glass sits like this, and then your device sits inside its little foam insert there, and it sits on top, and it's not an overly light device, so during transit, bumping around, or being moved from one person, shoving it over to the next, if it bounces enough, this will compress enough to put too much stress on that glass and it will shatter it. So if you're buying it from a B&M, before you leave the store, open it up, just have a look, make sure the glass isn't broken. Most B&Ms will possibly have a replacement glass that they will more than likely give you rather than exchange the whole device. Just give you the replacement glass, clear that up, mess out for you so you don't cut yourself. If you've ordered it online, I really don't know what to tell you. You can possibly pop down to your local B&M and see if they have a spare glass and they can help you out. I'm sure they would be happy to help you. Right, let's get on to the mod. We're not going to go overly too much into the tank because I went over that, on the SkyStar Revo kit. This is essentially the same thing, but I will go through and point out the sort of the differences. Alright, so let's take the tank off first. So yeah, by comparison, if you stood them side by side, the standard Revo and this one, the TPD compliant version, they're the same. They look the same. The difference is this one, 510 pin, has a hole in it. You can actually hang it on a stick. That's because this is a bottom feeding version, meaning that it's used on the Squonk mod. It's not really geared to use on a standard device. So yeah, so you'll notice first and foremost that the major difference between this one is you've got no fill port like you do over the other. One of the best things of the Revo, the standard Revo edition, is the fact that you can fill it without taking anything off, without unscrewing anything. Bottle straight down the center into the non-return valve, squeeze your bottle, fill your tank, done job, and you're still moving. Changing the coils is exceptionally easy, even if you have a full tank of liquid, which I know on these TPD compliant ones or EU tanks, a full tank looks about as much as you can spit. That's just, it's the oppression, man. We're getting beat down bad. We got to live with it, but at least we can still vape flavors. Oh, ooh, sorry, FDA. Anyway, so the coils on these, really, really simple. Undo the collar, pop it up, chuck it away, screw this back on. At your B&M, it's going to be about 2 pounds. So you see you're going to have O-rings. You got O-rings, O-rings, O-rings. Would have had a spare glass. No good for that one. So you get plenty of O-rings to replace each one of these. You do not get a replacement pin. You can't swap this out for a standard pin. This is a bottom feeding tank. It is designed to be specifically a bottom feeding tank. That's all it wants to be. It's not aspiring to be something that it's not. Oh my God, did I just make it funny? It's not aspiring, and it's an aspire. Freaking genius. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, yeah, so it's not trying to be anything other than that. Now, you can use this on other squonking devices. Let's move right along. The smaller O-rings that you have in the bag are going to be for here. This O-ring, you'll notice it has no slots, no dips or anything to hold juice in. It also doesn't have any cooling. It doesn't have any cooling cutouts here to dissipate heat or transfer heat between the tank and here. And the reason that is because your coil is so far away from the bottom of your deck. Now that's a huge plus when you're using this tank, but if you're using another tank, or if you're using another atomizer, an RDA, that the coils are exceptionally low to the deck, you're going to find that this top is going to heat up. Now, this O-ring here is the sort of last line of defense, prevent juice from coming through here and getting pushed out past the connection that this makes to the bottom of the 510 of your atomizer, and then making it up its way up around the threads, and then squeezing out. So yeah, it's last line of defense so that you don't get any liquid out here. To be honest, I've not had any problem with that in the week that I've had it. It's kind of weird. It has movement, but it doesn't feel very spring-loaded. It feels, actually, I think what it is, and I'll show you in a second, I think it's literally just kind of being mushed on top of it like a rubber grommet. So we'll have a look at that in a second. This is the silver version now. The whole body of this is a zinc alloy. So it's a cast or die cast. The grips are plastic. They do look metal though. Your Revo is 24, meaning that you're going to get 24 on here. If you put a 25 on here, because there's a little bit of bevel, taper, this bit here, you're going to get, it's small. That is really, really tiny. I don't know if they're showing up. Yeah, it should be. It's really, really tiny. And you're looking down at it. But the device from here to here is 31. So it's not really going to have overhang. It's only going to have overhang on part of the device. But ultimately, 24 probably, it does look the best. It was designed to use a 24 because they designed it specifically to use it with this. Anything else you want to use it after that, that's up to you. But that's not what they're thinking about. They're thinking about the kit. Your fire button is going to be here. I will pop a battery in it, and I'll show you how the battery goes. On the bottom, you're going to have your battery, you're going to have your bottle. Now the bottle, if anybody saw the Fearin', similar but different. They had their own idea of what to do. Clockwise is going to lock it. It is kind of idiot proof, which is good because I needed this. It has a wide tab and a smaller tab. So you can't spin this around and put tabs on the wrong side. Your bottle's going to twist. That's going to line the two tabs up. You're going to pinch and pull. Now it's upside down, so it's going to come apart upside down. But normally this would drop out. So as you see, you've got your tabs. So you've got small, big. This is just a plastic casing. All it does is hold your bottle into position. Like I said, when you open it this way, everything drops out as one. So your bottle would just, your bottle's going to be sat there. Pretty, I love these. I love these. Even though this is a different idea, or a different, kind of a different rendition, I guess, really, from the Fearin', I really, really, really like this sort of style here. So you've got this holds it, and that essentially is your bottle. That does hold 7 mils of liquid. At least that's what it says in the manual. Now for me, one of the things I didn't notice is, kind of see this little silver area inside the bottle? I only fill it right to the bottom of that silver area. You can fill it up more, but it seems after that you can't see the liquid. It's inside this neck. All it is really is just a collar for the top to screw into. And when I fill it up, I have to stop there because I find that if I go over that too much, even though I don't really get it leaking out here unless I really overfill it too much, but when I screw it onto here, it will still come out here yet because just from pressure. But if you fill it to there, I don't have any problems with it coming out here at all. Hold your collar there. Like I said, the collar on this one is on the inside, not on the outside of the silicone bottle. They are really soft. They are really soft. You don't get a spare, but so you only get this smoked one. But you can see you're probably not really showing up on the camera, but you can see your liquid inside this actually with no problem at all. You get knurling on the outside of this upper ring or the top, the cap bit. And because it's silicone here, it's really easy to, look as it slips out. Makes me look a liar. Look, it's really easy to grab hold of when you're not overly juiced the hell out of your finger from doing something you probably shouldn't have. And you're going to get this. And everybody's going to say, oh my God, it's the rod system. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. It's not like the G-Box or the Kangaroos or stuff like that. Now you've got this rod. This is the part that I'm not fully understanding what they were thinking on this side, and this is going to be one of the negatives, I guess, for me, certainly for me. Now, you see this section here. Now, this section here, once it's all put together, this all slides in, all right? It goes up, and then the locks lock it in, and this is pushed up to the top. Now, this here is sort of a conical shape. It's kind of coned, right? So it cones in like that down to the tube. So you would expect something in here is going to be, well, kind of like my pointer here, and is going to be pushed in and pushed into place, locked into place, because this here, watch here, this rod moves like this. So you've got some spring tension in there. And it looks like you've got an O-ring inside here, and you've got this O-ring here. So as this is pushed and locked in, you would expect something up here that's not moving to then be pushed and locked into place. And that would prevent really any liquid from getting up past here, right? But that's not what happens at all. This, if you can see it, though it looks like there's something in there, this is just a flat grommet. Let me see if I can shine some light in there. Does that help or hinder? You see, that's a flat rubber grommet. This section here, which again is flat, and that grommet size is the size of this section like this, what it looks like anyway. And this is then just, the whole thing is just planted flat against it like that. But this section moves around in there like that. Now you notice this, normally when you're just vaping, you don't have that. But when you squonk the bottle and it's in here and you push against it, you push against this rod. Now don't do what I just did, because that, oh, look what I've done. You get my meaning. It bends that rod, it makes it. Now it looks like they made it flexible so that you don't bend the rod. That's a good thing. But it also moves around there. And what happens sometimes is a bit of a weep, a little bit. It's not going to flood, but it can weep a little bit. And then what happens when you change it and come out, you'll find a little bit of juice right here. It is simple, just sort of wipe it out, give that a quick wipe, and you're on your way. But I'm not sure why they didn't just make a fixed, tapered 510, sort of extension, kind of like we do when we hook the hose up, when we hook our bottle tube to it. I don't know why they didn't just sort of make that with that big ass grommet in there, which would have been absolutely fine, and just have it lock in. Just have it lock in and it's done. Absolutely done. I was talking to Boss Man, and he said, well, it looks like one person kind of started designing it, and then another one designed this section, and they just didn't really, their ideas didn't quite meet there. I don't know, that just seems like it might have been a better idea, but overall, still is a good system. The other thing I might want to point out is this is plastic, and that is gravity. This is plastic. It might get some wear, because this is, like I said, this is cast zinc alloy. So some wear there, possibly. Perhaps they could have made this stainless steel. Perhaps they could have done away with this style locking, because you do have to get your fingers in there. Same with the battery doesn't lock that way. The battery has to be unscrewed, and then you unscrew it and it comes out. Don't lose that. There isn't a spare. Your battery goes positive down. It doesn't have any indication in there to tell you what it does, right? And there's none on the bottom. The only one that you have is this little negative symbol there. So that tells you, oh my, you know what? I might have actually beat this mod to death accidentally by the time I've finished reviewing, and then I'm gonna have to buy it from Boss Man and recycle it into something, because it's not gonna be worthy of use anymore. So when you're vaping it, you're gonna get that. I mean, because there's just nothing going on, right? There's nothing on top. To lock it, it's gonna be 5 clicks, and you're gonna get a lot. 3 little flashes. Boom, there you go. And as you see, that's the blue and orange. When that goes, it will, see, does that look pink to you? Your battery, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to get out. The threads, they aren't butter. They're really not butter. And when you're unscrewing, it doesn't really give you much of an indication until the threads stop, because it can't literally screw the other way. So you have to back it like that, and then you pull it out, and then you keep dropping the damn thing. And then you just slide your battery out. But they are smooth enough. I'm dropping everything today. I'm sorry about that. They are smooth enough to where it's not sharp at all. So you're not tearing your battery wrap getting it in and out of there. So there's not that problem. And okay, let's get this back on. I think it's one of those, you get those things in life sometimes, they're a little bit of a pita, a pain in the ass. Or a little bit of a pain in the ass to maybe assemble, or maybe to get it right? It's kind of like going through setting your phone up, you know, for the first time. You got to set it all up and you got to do all this crap. But once you're up and running, you're like, you're happy as anything. You're like, yes, best purchase ever. And that's it. Now these come in a range of colors. I will post a picture of some of the colors that I find. I'll try and stick that up there. That is pretty much it. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so let's pop back up top. There are some other things that I want to show you that I can't, let's see. I can't really show it on here. So I'm going to have to use the iPhone and do a tabletop kind of thing because I want to show you something else. So anyway, let's jump up and have a look. I like it. I do. I kind of like it. I do like it. I do like it. But let me show you this right. This bottle. Sorry, I got a creaky chair. I'm gonna change my fat ass, but I don't know if this is gonna show up. This is where your bottle goes. This is the clap for your bottle. You notice you can't see the one for the battery, and then you've got the frame, right? But you may notice that that one sticks up. It's just a little bit proud. And what that means, you see that? I can't even. This way, not too bad. It wants to sit up on that bottle. So that's what I found with this one. I haven't checked out any of the other ones because they're in boxes. But I haven't checked to see if they're all like that or if it's just the lock, I can't push it further, and it literally it stops there as well. So I could sand that plastic down a little bit. Should I have to? Really? Probably not so much. Not so much. Not the kind of thing you want to be doing when you buy a brand new device. Now, is it? New. So that was the other thing I spoke about. I mean, I know I'm trying. There's going to be some jump cuts, not because I'm trying to hide anything, but this being a kit, there's just a lot to talk about. There's a lot to try and I try and cover everything, and there's a lot, And sometimes I do kind of. It's my nature. I will go off somewhere else and just my mind, it's out there. And I'll start talking about one thing, and I might as well be in the next room. So, but so there might be some, I'll try to smooth it out. I'm no video editor professional, so if you see, Mickey Mouse stuck in there anyway, it's not my fault, not at all. I'm not taking blame for that one. When you put a fully charged 4.2 volt battery in here, 18650, you will get a blue light like that. When the battery is below 3.8 volts, you will get the blue and orange. When the battery dies, when it's at 3 volts, it will use its remaining power instead of giving you another hit to flash 15 times. I don't know why. Could have given you another hit or two, but no. Actually, I think it uses less power for the LED anyway. The Revo, with its arc coils in, vape really well at 3.8 plus. I found that once the battery got below 3.8, the hit was just, for me, was not very good at all. Battery life, I'm getting about as much battery life actually as I get out of a Mac on an 18650. So there's probably no real difference there. These do come in at 65 for the kit. With the kit, you do get the spare glass, non-broken, hopefully. You do get the spare coil, the other arc coil, but they're £2. They're not expensive. The standard arc coils, they drop in there. There's no specific bottom feeding arc coil. You just arc coil and it drops in there. It's really easy to prime. It primes just like the other Revo. If you're priming the coil for the first time, pop some liquid in there, turn the tank upside down, leave it for a couple of minutes, drop it back on, and you're golden. Hit the button, and that's pretty much it. Your top cap doesn't get hot because the airflow comes in, and it's quite a significant chamber in there. Flavor-wise, if you like the flavor on the Revo, you'll like the flavor on the Revo. The Revo's evil twin. Let's call it that. You like the evil on the evil twin. Or the BF, the big friend. So that's pretty much it, you know. 65 pounds. All in all, it's all right. I mean, there are a couple little things that maybe you can overlook, maybe you can't overlook. If you want a completely sealed squonking system that will never, ever, ever leak on you, you can't even do that with a sub-ohm tank, to be fair. Yeah, because one, there's always human error, so it's kind of hard not to have that in the equation. So, you know, it's there. I do get a little weeping on there. I'm not going to tell you that I don't. I'm not going to say, hey, man, it's badass. Come down to the shop and buy it. I'm not going to do that. You know, I do get a bit of weeping there. I think the design on that cap could have been a little bit better on how it marries to the bottom of the 510. I think there is a little bit room for improvement there. A little bit more room for improvement on this little clip and make it recess a little bit. The battery door recesses. And to be honest, the battery door is a little bit of a pain in the ass to get off. It could have put a little latch on it, kind of like the Furin. I keep going back to the Furin, but I love that little latch system. You just bring it up and got actually something to hold on to. I got little short, fat, chunky fingers, man, and I'm trying to wedge two in there. It's not easy, man. It's not fair. Other than that, it's pretty damn good. Did that make it sound bad? Or not? I'll let you be the judge. But it's there. Yeah, 65 pounds. That should be in. All right, that's it for me. I'm out of here. I gotta go. I got stuff to do. I got a dinner date. So I'm gone. And I'll see you on the next one.